the other added layer that they're also not telling you about the Flint water crisis, again, in addition to the lead, the Legionella bacteria, overpumping the chlorine in it, it was also due to decades of millions and millions of tons of contaminants being dumped into the Flint River by General Motors. And this is very egregious because the reason that General Motors is not held accountable for it to this day is because in the 80s, they decided to leave and go overseas because Black workers were starting to organize, unionize. They wanted better positions within their unions. They wanted better white-collar jobs. So as soon as that power was starting to swell and build in cities like Flint and Detroit and Braddock, that is when these companies, through Reaganomics, decided to outsource those jobs overseas. So just remember that. That is systemically created. Black people didn't choose to stay in these towns and be poor or destitute. It was manufactured and created. I'm setting up all that heavy stuff to give you the big win, the big victory.
Yeah.
So what you see here in this image and what you see on these stilts is a representation of this technology that's actually right here with Amber Hassan standing with her parents, who is the best friend of Shay Cobb. These are the two mothers I work with. Amber chose to get a respite from the Flint water crisis and went to Miami, Puerto Rico with her family. Unfortunately, she gets to Puerto Rico and Hurricane Maria and Irma happen.
Oh.
Right? So you're fleeing institutional industrial racism in the north, trying to get a break to Puerto Rico, and then you get hit by climate change. When that happened, she ran into a whole bunch of local activists there in Miami, Puerto Rico, and came across this lovely man here named Moses West, who is a retired RA Ranger, who created the technology that's right here in this image called the atmospheric water generator. This machine mechanically creates condensation in order to create air. It pulls in moisture as long as it's 40 degrees or higher through these blue filters on the side, and then through all these other sections here, he has it all laced with silver so that it purifies and cleans the water. And then because it is the way it's designed, it continues to replenish itself and cool. So it is an endless supply of water that exceeds the World Health Organization standards. This is the cleanest water. They had it tested, they brought in the scientists, they have all the documents. So if you go to the Moses West Foundation, now they're more excited, you will see that he had this large machine, and now he makes even smaller ones that are portable so that we have access to our own free, clean drinking water that we can also attach to our cars and our trucks and make water to take around to all of our communities, especially so we can get a break from not only lead contaminated water, but water that's contaminated by plastic. Like, we have a water crisis across the whole country. We're living in the midst of a water war, but no one is saying it. But you heard it here first if you haven't heard it anywhere else. And so this is why learning about this technology is important, right? You can get it from your community, a few households to get this technology and use it, because again, as long as it's 40 degrees or higher, it takes the moisture and turns it into water. So we were making about 2,100 gallons per day, and the people of Flint could come up and draw as much water as they want. So me, Amber, and Shay, 3 Black working class women, worked with Moses West. They called me after the first time they threw out the case in Flint, where they denied and delayed justice and said that it wasn't done appropriately. Also today, just so you know, the Supreme Court is throwing it out permanently. So they can never reopen the case to hold those elected officials accountable in Flint. They got away with it. But we knew that, and that's why we took our own action. So we created a water operation with Moses West. And here's what I'm saying about the power of photography. I use my photographs as a platform for social justice, equity, and cultural change. How did I do that? All the photographs that are surrounding you, including the ones that are in black and white, and then the ones that are in that video there, which is part 1 of the water crisis when I was there when it was happening. I used those to raise the proceeds of $50,000. That is what Moses told me it would cost to get his technology from Fort Sam Houston, which is the military base in Texas, and get it all the way to Flint, Michigan. The thing that caused me to do this is because Moses went to Flint after they came from Puerto Rico. He went up to elected officials, and I'm going to point this out, I'm going to emphasize this. The elected officials in Flint are black. He went to them and said, I can give you this technology for free. They laughed at him, dismissed him, and shooed him away. That is when Amber called me and said they didn't take him seriously, what could we do? That is what prompted me to raise that money through the art sales as well as my own money. And then when the Robert Rauschenberg Foundation found out what I was doing, Rauschenberg is a famous painter. He moved to Captiva, Florida, many decades ago, where he would finish out his life and his career. His studio's there. And what people don't know about his practice is he cared about the environment in Captiva. Captiva, Florida is important because the hurricanes have done some serious final damage to that property, to that area. So when the Rauschenberg Foundation found out that I was going to do this operation in Flint, they said, we will match the money that the